Look, I'm making this video. I want anyone to put the pieces together if you can. Every time I do something, they've got to outdo me. If I'm talking about crime, they've got to make a massive production about criminal podcasts. Do you know what I mean? I can't be an individual. They're shadowing me online, and I'm just saying, I know Jenny. This doesn't look like Jenny. Jenny had a very unique look with very beautiful exotic eyes. I had very refined nose, a very long face, and I look very educated. For some reason, the government keeps abusing me and not giving me the honours that I deserve. I want to talk about what has happened in this corruption. As a whistleblower, you have got my mind and a voice, but I've got medical records that I'm not mentally ill. I've got lots of people saying I'm not mentally ill. Look, I want to say I got taken 7 years ago. This is such a tragic story, and I'm shattered by the whole situation. I believe my ex and Kiki used me to get fame and money and a house through some sex trafficking network. And I believe because he was trying to hide that he did something bad to me, I've gone through all this bullshit. Now, if you look at these videos of me 3 years ago, I'm talking about bullying and that I got capitally punished, that I was bad taste for John and Reuben and Tom Ford's, whatever it was called, some sort of celebrity thing. I want to say they framed me in some shed that I had sex and I was a side chick. I remember distinctly for about 7 months my face was getting ruined, and I had to go to my sister's wedding and I didn't want to go, and I said to my mother, I don't want to go to the wedding, my face is ruined. And she said, why? And I said, because I think Reuben and his shenanigans has stressed me out when we broke up. And I said, and I think this forest has got something that's giving me all these allergies and making me sick. And she said, oh, I don't care, you have to come. Because my mum doesn't really care about people being sick. She's weird like that. So she made me come, and I just wore sunglasses the whole time because I was really humiliated. And this rebel motorcycle gang are a bunch of fucking assholes on this watch group, and I don't consent to them filming me anymore, and I'm asking for cease and desist to stop filming me on these watch groups, this rebel motorcycle gang, and this constant watching me of Ruth Cork and Kiki. I just believe in that instance that Kiki and Poppy and Reuben made some pact to frame me as being his slut, in that case to get some sort of housing. This is my instinctual belief, and I had my face wrecked, and I was never like that. We lived in an apartment, 3 apartments together. We lived down Basque Road, we lived down Library Lane, and we lived in, I can't remember what it's called. It's something like it's a new area in Auckland. We lived in some house there for a while, and in that time, I'm not saying that he was a good boyfriend, but I am saying when I was with him, it was just me and him in these houses. So it wasn't like they are trying to rewrite my history, and I think Poppy wants a lot of money is why I'm being abused like this. And I'm saying I got framed for some sort of slut situation where I think we had sex one more time after I hadn't seen him for a year, and he came back saying that he was going to help me. It was some situation, I was having a crisis, and he came to help me, but we ended up together for one night. But in that time, I think somebody filmed it. I think he actually did it on purpose out of revenge porn to make money, and they did it again at his house. He told me to come to his house, and they made me I think they made this big acting ploy that they were broken up and they were never together, and he had kicked her out. And so he'd given her, there was nothing in the house, and she was all crying and leaving the house, like, when I turned up. And I was just playing chess there, and they made out that they weren't together. So I didn't think anything bad. And in that time, they framed me, she framed me for being his slut on Facebook, and basically ruined my reputation all to Christchurch, ruined my life. Absolutely ruined my life, and my face was ruined, and I was being terrorised. My family said, we believe you're being terrorised. My cousins actually saw that my phone was being tracked by GI. There was a group of Asians in GI tracking me, and they kept turning my phone location on remotely. I wasn't doing it, and I was asking my cousins, what's all this stuff? And they were teaching me that I've got to turn off all of this Google stuff because it tracks my locations and things like this. I didn't know any of this stuff. And so they were teaching me this, and my family was saying they believe I'm being terrorised by these people, bullying me that I'm ugly for my ex. And they just said they were sending vicious rumours that I'm very ugly and that I'm very dirty. And so I got taken out of there to Christchurch. I got a job. I was being terrorised again. And I had all these panic attacks. And I didn't realise I was on meth and mercury. And I went to Australia to my mum. I was really stressed. This is a very traumatic event for me, and I remember it piece by piece. They're trying to make it I don't have cognitive abilities. But you can see in my 3 years ago, I'm talking about how they're talking about I'm bad taste. I've never lost my mind, but they're abusing my head with all these chemicals to try and erase the reality. And I'm here to say, as a testimony, they're abusing me to take all this money by trying to erase that I was ever connected to him in a love story. And I'm saying I don't care to... I actually knew when I was his girlfriend that he's had way more beautiful girlfriends than me. I didn't think that I was his most beautiful girlfriend, but I didn't think I was his most ugly girlfriend. I was a very attractive woman, and I didn't think... I've been with men in my past, like Dave is not an attractive man, and he attracts very beautiful women. I don't feel intimidated by it. I have relationships with people about their personalities, and I felt confident woman. I was attractive enough to be confident in life. I didn't feel like I had to be the best, but I was... Do you know what I'm trying to say? I'm just saying I was very content with my life. I didn't feel intimidated by anybody, and I knew that he'd dated super hot women, and I called his ex-girlfriend because of some of his behaviour, and she had told me he basically he likes to keep a cute girl, and then he has his side model chicks. And that's what happened, and one day I just realised that's what was happening. I was the cute girl that stays at home, and he's got these model chicks going on, like in the fast lane, and he goes to these motels on the rooftop. And that's when I left him. And I'm not dumb. It wasn't going on for ages. We were living in apartments. And I just moved on with my life, like tried to save up money, and I was getting robbed. And I cried to him one day because I was like, I need help to get out of this city. I've got a dog. I can't handle this anymore. And I also called Sam and I said, somebody's putting cameras in my home. And he said there's all these apps that I can put on my phone to track these Wi-Fi signals in my bedroom. And ever since then, they feel entitled to film me fucking every day. They've taken away my life. And I'm just saying... I still have my life in this video where I'm talking about taste, where they're bullying me and outcasting me. And I'm saying I'm being put to death illegally. They're denying me the right to a future, but I'm saying how can the government spend all this money to put me to death and you are denying me the right to life? So the government needs to pay me a lot of money because I've actually got evidence that I'm asking for help with this toilet video with genocide in Australia, and they keep trying to make out I'm mentally ill by using humans, like human shields, many people, and it's not fair. I'm not mentally ill. I know for a fact I didn't have any crazy relationship with him. I just know that at the end, when I started to not be agreeable, that's when he was not infidelity. But my past relationships weren't like that. If they're saying James is like that, it's full of shit. Because I lived with James every day. If he's in love with this Davinia, that's some childhood thing. It had nothing to do with our relationship. I lived with him every day. There's no way he could have cheated on me. Like, we were with each other every day, apart from when I'd go stay with Leanne at her house in Wainoni Road or whatever she was back then. I used to go stay with her in the weekends and have drinks with her, or like have some dinners and stuff. Like, but other than that, I haven't had any. So everything about my life, this woman is so obsessed to make me into a movie star of infidelity and not being a good wife. She wants to tarnish me and make herself as a good, reputable wife. Because I talked about my relationship with Tim, and I said about that Lavinia girl, or whatever her name was, Larissa. They've gone to meet this Larissa. And that's what I'm really fucking sick of, eh? It's absolutely disgusting. I can't talk to anybody. They're spying on me every day. And it's like, you can't spy on me and take away my love and reputation. What are you doing this for? Like, what are you spending all this money in Hollywood? What are you doing all this to me for? I'm one individual woman that wanted to do things with her life. Why are you sacrificing me? They're torturing my vagina. They're ruining my health. They're destroying everything. They're destroying my reputation and love. India has done this to me. And I want to know why. Because Tim had this affair with Larissa, and I talked about it, and I wasn't hiding it. And they have obviously been talking, and I want to know how they found Neil. There's no way you could find Neil. Anything I've talked about, they're trying to make me look bad in the public eye, which is abusive. Like, they keep saying I'm a nobody, so why are they constantly silencing me and not letting me have a voice? Why did they not do anything about this toilet video? Why do they keep framing me as his prostitute when I wasn't? And then I met this John guy, and I started, his mum, and that made me feel like he wanted to be with me. I didn't, but I'm not stupid. I didn't believe him. I thought he was actually mentally ill. Like, I really thought he was mentally ill, because, I don't know, I just thought he was mentally ill. When he came in, he was like saying all this stuff and like really love bombing me, and I was like, oh, he's a nutcase. And he was like, oh no, like, you know, I just want stability and stuff. And so later on, when I met his family and stuff, I thought his family were normal. But I think they were all part of a scam to get a lot of money out of me. So I think his mum scammed me for money, and she's persecuting me over time. But how can I move forward with my money or my education or work? Because you can see in my phone, I'm always looking to get help for work, and I'm not getting it. And you can see that the government's been blocking me working. So this whole time, all those girls were scamming me for all this money and to be famous superstars, and tarnish my reputation and put me in all this darkness when I was innocent. I was a light worker. I did all this light work, and then they drowned me. Basically, I was doing all these business stuff in Australia, creative business. It was making me happy. It was also healing me, because I was persecuted and lost my family and my soul tribe. I need a soul tribe. And I started campaigning, and every time I was putting letters around the letterboxes, I was getting police silencing me. So I want to know, what's the big deal about why has Ruben and Kiki or Poppy or whatever become some multi-million-dollar brand of what's a man and a woman? Because they've kind of taken a concept that I was doing in my life and the beauty of my art, and just tortured me, an innocent girl, taken the innocence out of my life, framed me for prostitution and being a side chick, and made me a huge sucker joke, destroyed my name to the nations, destroyed all of my work into doing humanitarian work, made me a huge poo joke all over the world, destroyed me, because of Kayla and Poppy, because of so much money that they're putting into abusing me as grace energy. And I want to say I want my own energy back, because I was a light worker, and a light worker as somebody that comes in with pure intentions. My heart's always been pure. It's in one of my past phones on my WhatsApp. And she is absolutely cruel, because I'm telling you, Kayla was a very, very old-looking, haggard woman, and she just sat at the beach looking like haggard all day, not having direction in her life. This branding is from my landlord giving these women these huge makeovers to be movie stars. So it's a magic of glamour and making them into... She's marketing people into being celebrities. And I've got a text from Narita saying that I'm being used for my spiritual fur, and because she wants the ballerina to be known spiritually, and she said that I'm being outcasted as a weirdo in the city, and she actually said she knows I'm a lovely girl that's very, very kind and emotional and very good with children. That's what she said to me, and she actually said that I'm acting disgusting, texting my sister 40 times. And I said, I need help. Nobody's helping me. And they said, you can't, and basically she said that the cats are acting like they're the kings of the house. And so what I'm saying is, why should I be under these cats? Why do I have to be filmed every day by rebel motorcycles? At what stage do I get my own life? What stage did this billion-dollar man deal to make him some celebrity man? Why do I have to be part of it? Why are they tangling my life? Why is Kayla and Poppy tangling my life into this? They've just beat me as a dog to all of my friends and family, and I don't want to have anything to do with it. I don't have rights. They keep me in these series that they're huge families and they're so in love, but it's so... If you look at me, my cooking is pretty good. I think I'm kind of a little bit like Jamie Oliver, because he's a little bit like rustic. I mean, I don't know what Michelin star he's at, but some of the stuff that I've watched on TV that he cooks, a little bit like Rachel Ray. I'm a home cook. I'm pretty good. I've got good food. And I don't know why I'm in a competition. Every time I do something, she's got to take her knickers down and be like, I'm better than you. Every time. Every time it's those three girls, Poppy, Kayla, Kiki, and this Ruth. They got to take their knickers off and be like, we're better than you. You're a fucking dog. And I'm complaining. This isn't fair. I want my money back off Hollywood, and I want my money back off the banks making those girls super celebrities at the expense of ruining my reputation. Why should I have to pay for this? I'm actually dying with no honour, and the character that I built for years, I've got actual folders saying that I'm a good character, that I've got good skills to keep long-term relationships, and I do. And I am actually a very good trainer of children, and I'm very good at training people in work too. And I didn't get any life. This is from the School of Hard Knocks. I didn't go to school to learn this. And I've got a lot of education in different areas. I'm just very good with people, because I'm very good at bringing the best out of people. I'm very good at nurturing them to believe in themselves, and I'm very good at finding something positive about that person and reinforcing it, and they become confident, and with that confidence they want to do a good job, because I make them feel like they're going to get rewarded from doing this achievement and finishing this job together, and we can move forward together. And I keep everything very positive and very, very inspiring, and I've always led my team like that, and I've never had problems, apart from young people like Adele that want to sit in the toilet and play on their phone all day. And you want to talk about my behaviour on my phone? Yeah, well, you talk about the behaviour of the anti-Semitism causing me a job. You want to talk about the behaviour of these high-quality Paris Hilton calling me a fucking mutt to all of my family and friends. You want to talk about how you cope with that, and you're being raped and tortured as a donkey monkey. I want my money back off Tate. I want my money back off Kiki and Poppy and Kayla, and the banks and this spider lady, whoever she is, because I don't deserve this. I was in my home making a business. I got put in a court case that I'm a murderer and I'm innocent. Again and again, you keep using me as a prostitute, and I wouldn't do that. And you stopped me being great in life. You stopped me doing a business in life. And I'm tired of it. I'm always making the business. You're banking my money. Billionaires, you can do whatever you want, and you keep taking the goodness out of my life. You've taken the greatness out of the beauty of my heart and made it into Reuben and his girlfriend. And it's my heart and it's my character. I'm telling you, there's videos of me 3 years ago, and I look good for somebody that had my face ruined. I still had baggy eyes, but I looked okay, and they're constantly making me look old and ugly, and I want my rights back. I should be allowed to go out in public and go to work. Why am I being kidnapped like this? Brendan has been defrauding me all over the world. No matter where I go, he takes control over my life, and I want my life off him and these men. It's like, you've taken over my country, my hometown. You've taken away my voice out of my life, you and Kiki. I want my life back off you people.